But I've learned to let people talk and not interrupt them. Brother, that is a rare fucking trait in conversation. They're not listening to what the fuck you have to say.
Which is not a conversation.
Which is not a They only listen long enough to get an idea of their own, and then they want to say it. And now I just listen. I understand. It's perfectly normal. Yep. Well, anybody would feel that way. You know, just try to be there, sympathetic, and somebody she can talk to.
And today we have an interesting subject to talk about, and we'd like to share it with you. My name is Scott Sagent. I'm here with my good friend James Hampton for another episode of No Fee Philosophy. And James, thanks for being here with me.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
Let's talk about and discuss a little bit how much we as human beings depend and rely on validation for just about everything in life. For example, if me and you are standing outside at night and you see a shooting star, something out in the sky that you're not sure of, well, it would be a natural reaction for you to turn to me and say, "And did you see that?" Just for the validation aspect of it. But I think we do that for so much in life. Like, we rely on each other, our fellow human beings, for so much more than people put out to, I think.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. People want to belong, fit in, however you wish to put it. And I think that is innate. I think that is instinctive. Going all the way back to being part of your group, your tribe, if you will. And if you if you're not accepted by your tribe, you're ostracized, cast out, and you're dead.
Yeah, right. It was a death sentence in the old times, if you were socially not part of the group or part of the whole. So it's almost like a not just a coping mechanism, but a survival one.
Survival, and that's exactly what I mean by instinctive. It's in our DNA to fit in with the group.
So when somebody needs validation for something like, "Oh, I can make it through this hard time," how is that similar or different from what we just discussed? Is it really the same thing?
And I believe that we seek validation when we're scared more than any other time. And I believe that's part of being scared when you're going through a difficult time or feeling isolated, feeling alone.
Yeah, because even if you know you can make it through something, like a hard time, for example, how much better does it feel when somebody reminds you that you can make it, or that you're stronger than you think you are?
Well, it's certainly been a big part of my life. People being encouraging, and it's not only that they're encouraging you that you can do it, but when you feel like you have somebody that's there to help if you need it.
So it's almost like in a way, it's kind of like an extra security blanket that we all, or an umbrella that we hold out for the person next to us, or, whoever.
Oh.
Just to relieve that extra bit of hardship or struggle.
Just having somebody that's there that understands what you're going through is a big help, I think.
Right. And then for the people that don't have that,
I can't imagine. I've thought about that because I've always had family or friends or a support group. Can you imagine having no one?
It's probably really easy to get lost in your own head and your own thoughts. And especially if it's a dark cloud of thoughts, really easy to spiral downward.
Well, I think that it's easy to get caught up in your own thoughts, period. Especially if it's negative and you feel alone.
which just gets amplified when you're in a stressful situation. It just kind of amplifies the entire, all of it, emotional element.
And think about this, who you choose to hang around. Now, I know some negative people, and that's what they identify with. The world is shit, people are shit, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Everybody's against me. In my family, well, they tend to gravitate towards each other. So even if you have someone that validates your negative thoughts, it's nice. Misery loves company.
Right. And how much of that do you think is like attracts like?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I personally have always gravitated, I've always wanted to feel confident and secure, which I did not as a young person.
Right.
But that's what I wanted, was to feel confident and peace of mind and be okay with everything, not be anxious.
Right.
Well, those are the people I gravitated towards because that's what I want to be like.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? That was my thought process. How do you do that? I want to hang around you. I want to learn what you know.
Which probably speaks volumes about support groups and how when you get so many people together working on the same cause or the same, be overcoming whatever it may be, the support group is for. That the power with the group and the team is just so vital. It gives you a safe place to be vulnerable. You just talked about being comfortable and not having anxiety. It gives you that situation, that environment, I guess, to heal. And it's probably also why they talk about, surround yourself. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. Like whatever you want to be, surround yourself with that. Because thoughts are contagious, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that is not exactly the subject you're talking about, but group energy is what popped into my head when you started talking about groups and teams and clubs and being a member of a group,
right,
for a purpose, whatever that may be. One of the things that I did not recognize until later, but when I first started writing poetry with Ron, he was into poetry, and I just came up with it because I would go visit him every week, and it was just something to do. But I came up with the idea of picking a theme and both of us writing a poem on that theme or that idea, and then comparing notes and see what we come up with the next time we meet. Well, this led into us taking a class. Brother, I was never more productive and never more prolific in my writing, and some of my better writing was when we were taking a class and met with a group of people for the purpose of writing. And the energy seemed to flow. So I think, what do you call it, synergy? Where, different parts come together to create more than the sum of its parts.
Right. That just got me thinking about just large groups, energetically speaking, in general. Say the energy of a church. Anybody that's sensitive to energies, it's very obvious when you're, even if you're not religious at all, and you're just in the church, you can feel the energy of the...
I agree wholeheartedly.
But the same thing applies even outside of, the religious context. You can be at a concert and feel the energy. It's when you get people together, it's almost just a natural byproduct.
The energies merge. Now, you and I have just mentioned several positive things: church, concert, me talking about going to a class. But I think the same thing applies to a mob. Negative energy. You get a group of people together and you get them pissed off and fired up and are scared about something, the same thing applies.